Hey, it's Janae here to brighten and lighten and ignite your day. It's day 8 of my Peak Performance Sprint. And I want to talk to you today about the weekly plan. I mentioned yesterday about the calendar. So I totally live by the Google Calendar, which is nice. It pops up on my phone, on my app, where we can look at that too. Now this is my hard copy system, but I've been doing a version of this for like 10 years, and I love it because every year as I learn more or our schedule progresses in different ways, this I change up. So, and there's a template for you exactly as I have it now that you can do fill in the blank if something like this is of interest to you. So a couple of things is first, I have it in this binder. Now, I've had it in a binder for different years now. This year I'm really excited because last year I had this information and then I had the rolls like behind it, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't look good. It doesn't work for me because I like to have this open all the time, and this fits full out on my desk so I can go to that. So I have my weekly focus and that I can put up here, so I can just print a bunch of these off and then fill in the week for each of these as my priorities and my focus. And then I have here right now I have kind of 10 domains of life. Now they could be weekly rolls, whatever you talk about. I've been doing a version of this probably ever since I heard Covey's thing over a decade ago about that we need to plan by the week is what I do. And then also that we need to plan by our big rocks and our rolls. And so many productivity experts talk about this in different ways. So they said you should have no more than 10 domains in your life that you're thinking of. For me, it's super helpful to think of, you know, myself, John, and the 3 boys. So that's my top row, top priority of focus and what needs to happen. And then there, what are your 3, Peak Performance talks about your 3 absolutes or your 3 core things in each of those areas. And I'll just think through this week, what's most important that we focus on for them this week. And then I'll write those core things. It's not all the different activities necessarily that they have going on, but kind of the main focus. And then in this next row, I have kind of 2 things for my current work right now, some kind of future type work that I'm doing, a family and friends area, and then volunteer, and then I have this bigger purpose of my life to be love and how I can do that. So those are kind of my 10 domains and what's important for me in there. And then in the weekly priorities, I have Monday through Sunday. I like to think of my weeks starting on Monday through Sunday, and then here being able to chunk it out. So you might be thinking, well, don't you already have that listed here? Well, yeah, I do. But for me, when I write it out, it really helps. Plus, I'll now start to add the different tasks. So for example, thinking through this time period, there was kind of one main thing that we were doing yesterday. We had to go up to Duluth, 2.5-hour drive from where we are for a travel soccer game. So that was the big focus for yesterday. So what I need to do to prep for up when we needed to leave and get back. Now the other thing is something new that I'm thinking about, and it hasn't quite come to me yet. One Peak Performance expert talked about this idea of for each day of the week to theme it, and then it gives more meaning for you. And I've totally themed Monday, and at least right now before summer starts is TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. This is my rest and recovery, because for many of you, your weekends might be rest and recovery. For me, they're typically not a lot of that because we're busy doing family events and activities that when Monday comes, it's time for me to get a little alone time and do some recovery. And especially around peak performance, that's super important that we have rest and recovery period. So I've blocked that in and I've chunked that in, and I'm really trying not to schedule anything like Monday mornings and kind of keep that block together. But what's interesting, like today when I'm prepping, and again, I'm going to try to have Mondays be my day to kind of plot out the week. Sometimes then I just will go day by day to really think through the day. Here, again, being able to chunk things out really helps. Like, okay, so I had a block about 2-3 hours in between my next event. So here's some standing things that I want to make sure that I do. And then what's really important too when you do this, then you can start to see discrepancies, because I have a track meet listed for Thursday, but it sounds like Gavin said there's something Wednesday. So now I can double check and look and make sure the calendars are updated, especially when I'm coordinating with moms for carpooling and all these different people. It literally, it's like a magic act trying to figure all this out. But I love this idea of the weekly plan. I've been doing it for a decade of planning by week. This has changed and tweaked each time. That's why I like to make some copies ahead of time. So now what I can do when I'm done with this week is I can go ahead and I can just flip it up and I can get for the next week. And then if I know something's coming up in the next week, then I can kind of pre-book a few things. If I know for sure one day I have to do something, I can do that as well. So I'm sure I'll keep kind of coming back to this system and idea, but I wanted to kind of get you started on this concept soon too, because that's a huge part of our peak performance is the scheduling and making sure what gets on our calendars, what stays on our calendar, and what gets done. So that's really important of the plan. So from my heart to yours, be love.